Yes, 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 yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yours truly, Diva Lyri in the house. Yeah. Welcome. Welcome. And welcome. Halo. 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 YouTube. TikTok. Diva Lyri in the house represented for UNA Republic, UNA University. What's up? Yes, 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 yes. UNA. Yeah. TikTok. TikTok, where you been at? All right, did y'all enjoy your weekend this weekend? I hope so. I want to get into some things today. I want to get into some things today. I'm going into for my sisters. I need to do this session for my sisters. I need y'all to remember UNA Republic is kicking back up on the 16th of July. All right. So if you want to be a part of the university, please leave your name in the inbox so that we can have a free consultation with you. All right. This is going to be dealing with law. Now, I told you all we have three courses coming up for the Law University. We have writing, power of the pen, or POP. All right. We also have history, what you never learned, and cleansing of the vessel. Y'all want to be a part of these seminars, okay? Because we're going deep into this information that's been hidden from us, so that we can understand, how foods uh, react to our body, clothing, all of that. Some things that we haven't been taught. We're going into it in that cleansing of the vessel seminar. Also in history, what you never learned, you're going to understand why some things are going on today, what's going on. You're going to understand who's who and what's what. You want to be in that class. Also, we've got power of the pen. Now we're talking about why this pen is so powerful and how you wield it. A lot of people are not understanding that. We're also going to go into creating your courts, how we are suing people, lawsuits that we haven't been taught how to do. When you learn how to wield your pen, you're going to learn how to gain or regain the power that you have lost. Now, let me go into this real quick. For those of y'all who want the membership package, I'm going to show part of it right now, real quick. All right, the membership package. It comes with your declaration, UCC, security agreement. This is your trust. As I call this, your get out of jail free card right here. This is my get out of jail free card. Your declaration, security agreement, and UCC. This is your trust. All right. This is where UNA is recognizing you as a sovereign individual. All right. So this is the declaration, security agreement, and UCC. It also comes with a membership badge. It also has an allodial ID. All right. It comes with all of these things. This is 179. If you want to get that, find the link in the bio. For my people on YouTube, go to unauniversity.com, unauniversity.com. But y'all can find the link in the bio, find that link tree. Thank you, Jennifer, for sharing. Big man, welcome, welcome, and welcome. Let's see who else is in the house. Thank y'all for joining. Y'all come on in the room. All right, listen. So that's the membership package. And don't forget, we are starting back up for the UNA University summer season 2023 on the 16th of July. So we welcome you. If you want a free consultation, D Israel. D Israel. The thank you, big man. Big man asked, how much does it cost? Okay, I'm going to tell you. Put your seatbelt on and listen up. And I thank you for asking me that, big man, because I want to make sure that if you get a consultation with us, you are serious. All right. So good. I'm gonna make sure nobody's gonna be wasting our time. We're not gonna waste your time. All right. So with the UNA University, we have seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter, just like your regular seasons. Those are 10 weeks. In those, actually, it's 3 months for each season. But in those seasons, we have 8 weeks of seminars. One second. So in those seasons, we have 8 weeks of seminars. So those seminars, each season is $5,000. Now, we do have a financing program. Pay attention. We have a financing program. In this financing program, what you're going to be responsible for is us agreeing to be in the university for 6 months. All right. For 6 months, pay attention now. You're going to pay $333.33. That's going to total up to $2,000 over the course of 6 months. That's the only thing you're going to be responsible for. You're going to sign over a financial instrument to UNA as a gift for the $10,000 that comes from your estate. Now, is that clear? You're responsible for $333.33 per month, and you're going to sign over a financial instrument that's going to come from your estate. For those of y'all who know about the estate, this is where we're allowing you to use your estate to help pay for the university. Okay, you're going to be financing it with that $333.33 per month. All right, and then there you go. That's all you're responsible for. The rest of it comes directly from your estate, not out of your pocket. Hope y'all understanding that. For those of y'all who understand the estate, we letting you use it. Okay, now. So we got, don't forget, this classes are starting up on the 16th. All right, the 16th of July. Now I want to go into this real quick, and then I'm gonna get into my session for for everybody. This is really for everybody, but I want to talk and speak specifically to my sisters. Now, real quick before I go into that though, I want y'all to understand why you would pay somebody for this. We have, since I've been in the university or running the university, which UNA University started in 2020. And of course, I was doing seminars long before that, years before that. But it really, UNA kicked off when I came back into North America. And I've had so many students to come into the university, and they say, they've been doing this stuff for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and they still have not gotten the basis of the information put down. All right. Listen to me. It is worth it for you to pay somebody to help you get what you need right away. You're wasting this time. And I don't want to say wasting, because everybody's got to pay. So either you're going to pay in time, meaning you're going to go through your blood, sweat, and tears, and you're going to, go through whatever documents you have to read and whatever websites and whatever information you have to traverse through. You got to pay. You're going to pay one way or the other. You got to pay. That's how this universe works. You're not getting nothing for free. So somebody tell you, oh, I'm supposed to have this information for free. They ain't getting it for free, because you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. So you're going to pay one way or the other. Now, if you've been doing this thing 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and you still haven't gotten the basic documents down and you haven't processed them, then pay somebody to help you. If it's not me, get help from somebody. Don't just keep spinning your wheels and not getting this done. Now, if you come into me and you're talking about, oh, I got a house note for $200,000, I got a car note for $50,000, I got this, that, and a student loan and all these other things, and you're wanting to get them written off, please start adding that up. It don't come close to what you would pay for the university, and this is even without the financing option that we offer. So I'm saying to you this: if you want to get this done, and you want to have somebody there who can help walk you through it, because a lot of times people don't get it done because there's fear involved. There's all these questions involved. They don't have anybody who they can lean on and ask questions when the system starts blocking them, it's worth it. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. This is why you would pay for this, because then you know that you got somebody there on your side. Now we can't help everybody just because, oh, I need some help. If you're a student, trust me, we're gonna be behind you. We're gonna make sure you get the information that you need so that you can get your documents on record and in the place where they need to be. All right, so that's why you would pay. Okay, that's just one of the reasons. That's not including the fact that there's a community of people that are going to be there that are like-minded, other people that you can build with. All right, so this is why you want to be a part of the university. Now, membership, go and get UNA University. Go to UNA University if you want to get this membership package. And also you can go there if you're wanting to go ahead and enroll for this season. Leave a message with your name and number so that we can contact you and have a free consultation, okay? I want you to be a part of the university, and if you want to do it, listen, this is what we always talk about. Ask the universe. The menu is wide open. Some of y'all, you hear a number and then you get scared. Ask the universe to send it. Just say ask. Some of y'all scared to ask. You'll never ask. Well, all you do is say, oh, I ain't gonna be it. And then next thing you know, you've told the universe no, and so then you don't ever receive. All right. So I'm just letting you know this is why you want to pay. It's way worth it. If you don't get it from me, get it from somebody. Thank y'all for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for joining. What is the end state? I don't know. I think I'm saying inbox VIP or hen. Was that hen? Yeah. I'm saying inbox. The inbox is where you go to the little profile, find the link in the profile, and find the other information in the profile link. Henry, that's why I said Henry. All right, let me get into this. I got to talk to my sisters. And brothers, I love y'all too, so y'all can stay tuned and pay attention. But I need to say this to my sisters because I need to give a shout out, first of all. I need to give a shout out to this sister. Her name is the official Jessica Divine Wisdom. The official Jessica Divine Wisdom. Sister, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I thank you so much for the support and the love that you're showing to UNA and our channels. Thank you. Jessica put up just a couple of beautiful sessions letting the people know where she's gotten some of the information from with respect to men and who they are in our relationships, women and men relationships, and why things are so out of order. And I just want to tell her thank you. And I've already spoken to her, but I really do appreciate her for sharing the information. I did one of the sessions that I did, once again, where I'm talking about the relationship between men and women. I did when I was living in South America, when I was in Argentina. And I listen, the spirits send this information to me and I just put it out. And I don't know if people are listening or not, but I wanted to make sure that when the spirit sends something to me, I just need to document it. And I happened to do it then, and she picked it up and she appreciated it. And I want to make sure that I show her love and appreciation. And thank you so much. It really it really touched my heart to know that you got it. Because what Jessica said was, she talked about how I'm coming with the information from a scientific standpoint. I deal with some biblical information, scripture. I deal with statistics and societal rules and laws, and how we have to understand what's really going on and how everything has been twisted and why things are in such a discombobulated state. So I wanted to just say I love her. I love you to her. Jessica, thank you so much for that. It means a lot to me that you got it. You got what I'm coming with. This is not about me being bitter towards anybody. It's all about what are the facts that have been hidden from us. Okay, so now I'm going to get into it, and I want to talk to my sisters. This session deals with sisters, let go of the anger. Sisters, let go of the anger. I want to talk about that. One of the things that I've seen is that when I, yeah, when I started to talk about the history of women and where we came from, I found that a lot of women really did appreciate that. I didn't know that this was just something that I knew it was hidden, but I didn't know that women would really appreciate it. And I had to learn how to say this information that I found out about who we are and the things that have been hid from us. I had to learn how to say it with love. And that's very important because of the simple fact that um, at one point I used to take a special kind of, I don't know, I felt good about slamming the brothers sometimes, and that wasn't right. And I had to come out of that anger. I had to find out where that was coming from, why I had it, and then I had to back up off of it. And so I'm speaking to you about this today because I'm seeing that this is becoming a trend. Now, I saw this fighting between men and women and, this back and forth fighting, but I need to talk to my sisters because um, I want to go into how we've been here before and how our powers are coming back to us. And we want to make sure we don't return to this place. All right, we've been here before. So I got to preface this. I got to start on the spiritual side so we all understand where I'm going with this, what I'm talking about, so that it's not foreign to somebody. All right. So one of the things that those of us who study this and we understand who we are as spiritual beings, we recognize that we've been here before, that as spirits, now these vessels are just vehicles, but as spiritual entities, we've been here before, we've always been here, and we always will be here. We don't die, the vessels just expire. So let's understand who we are. So we've put out energies in the past. And when you put out an energy, it does not just go away. The universe keeps track of all of that. So that when you come back in here, whatever vessel or vehicle that you take on, you have to recognize that your vehicle is telling a story about what you did in a past time. That's what this vehicle is telling a story. Your skin color, your hair texture, your height, your eye color, all of that is telling a story about energies that you put out in another time. That's all this vehicle is telling. So, with that being said, let's get into um, the male. Okay, now that we're understanding who we are as spiritual entities, I need us to understand that everything comes from the feminine. My brothers who study, they understand this, they know that everything comes from the feminine, that they originally were females. Okay, they want to tell you, oh, the sex is non-determinable. That's BS because everything has X's. That Y was originally an X, and X represents the feminine. All right, so now that we're understanding that everything comes from the feminine, we are all spiritual entities. These vessels are telling a story about what we did in a past lifetime. Now, I want to go into this about where we are now with respect to women. I talked about how in the past women owned everything, everything. So when we're talking about the knowledge, the wealth, the land, it was all in her name. All right. And now what happened is she was taken over by the male. Also, please understand, she is the one who created the male. So when I say she, I'm not talking human she. I'm talking about the she, meaning the beings or the gods. Some of y'all will call them Anunnaki, but whatever the beings or the gods were that were responsible for creating the vessels, those were feminine entities. And she created a male specifically to do the slave labor that she did not want to do. So when you look at the Anunnaki story, all right, what you're going to do is you're going to find a cycle. Look at the Anunnaki story. You're gonna find this cycle between uh, you got these beings, the Anunnaki, that create these other beings as slaves. All right. And then what ends up happening is they take over. They become high in number. The same thing when you're talking about the male. When in the Bible it says, let us create man in our image. Well, what image are you in? You're in the image of a female. That's the male is in an image of the female. Let's understand this. This is, and for those of y'all who haven't studied, I encourage you, do not knee jerk up in here. Don't come up in here knee jerking. I need you to be willing to go and study. I know this is new news to some people. Some of y'all, by now, a lot of y'all have heard this information because it's been going on. But please be willing to do your research, okay? And everything that I'm saying is love because I want my brother to know that I love you. This is not about dissing the man. So I'm getting into this because I need y'all to understand we've been here, sisters, before. He comes from you. He comes from the feminine. And when he was created to be a slave, not no helpmate. He was created as a slave. And it's the same thing. Here I talk about another cycle. Here it is, the melanated people created the Albion. Albions, if we look at slaves, the original slaves in the America were Albions. What is Albion? Your so-called white people. They're not white, they're Albions. All right. So what we have to understand is just like they were created and they were slaves, and then the slave rises up and takes over that which created it. The same thing with the male. The male rises up and takes over that which created it. You got the Anunnaki who created these humans, and the humans rise up and they did attempt to take over that which created it. That's what that whole Tower of Babel was about, where these humans were trying to build this tower so that they could go and fight with the gods. Y'all gonna start recognizing all of these cycles. Eat menstrual blood. That's the name of this being on this TikTok. Says, I agree, my creator is a woman. All right, Eat. I'm just calling you Eat if that's okay. So I said, Beach is in the house. All right, so now I want y'all to like and share and follow, please. Like, share, and follow. All right, let me get into this with my sisters. Now, we're understanding now that these are beings that we created. And even when you're talking about, you got a son, you got a boyfriend, you created these. Because if they're in your dimension, they're showing up because you have manifested them. All right, they came into your existence because you manifested them. Okay, let's get into this thing now. I want to talk to my sisters because, again, I'm hearing a lot of women want this information, but I'm encouraging you as you come into this information to let go of your anger, because I need y'all to understand that we've already mistreated them in another time. We've already mistreated the male in another time. And so my call to you is that when you are dealing with and you're learning about who you are, don't start going at the brother like, oh, they weak, they unintelligent, they're this, that. You're being disrespectful. And that energy, when you put out disrespectful energy, it has to come back. I can't tell you how many times I've dealt with women and they're saying these negative things about men, and then a man comes in their face and he's spitting the exact opposite back to her, and she's calling him this and he's calling her that, and she's not recognizing he is her reflection. Now I know y'all are saying, well, he's part of the problem too. I'm not even talking to him. I'm talking to you, sister. Because as soon as you clean it up, he don't have a choice but to clean it up. The only reason why he's in your face with these kind of bad energies is because he is reflecting you. I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to you. As soon as you clean up, he doesn't have a choice but to clean up. I'm talking to you. You. So instead of putting out that negative energy, I need you to understand we've got to become accountable for our own energies. So when it's, oh, my baby daddy, he ain't no good. I told y'all this. As soon as you start talking trash about him, you are talking straight up trash about yourself. You can't tell me about how negative he is without telling me how negative you are. There is no way that anybody, male or female, is going to deliver you an energy unless you have put it out. So when you tell me about what somebody else does to you, whether it be your lover or your mother or your friend or your family member or a stranger, as soon as you're telling me what they have done to you, I know the energies that you've put out. So we've got to become accountable, because as soon as we become accountable and we change self, he's got to change. He doesn't even have a choice. He doesn't even recognize what's going on. As soon as you change, he's going to do what he needs to do with respect to being in your dimension. And so now I want to go into this because, I get a lot of women who feel like, well, it's some good men out there. He ain't no good man. What is it? And I talked about this before too. What is a good man? Because we're putting expectations on these beings that shouldn't be there in the first place. I need to go into this because we need to understand what has happened. I talked about how the male took the woman over. And originally, he was a slave to her. And people want to talk about concubines and all of this other stuff, but it wasn't where he owned all the concubines. It wasn't like that. It was one male to a whole bunch of women. So we've got to start understanding how things have been twisted in history, not just with melanated people, but with the male and the woman relationship. And the fact that she was the one who owned everything and he took her over. All right. So now we have a situation here where he has come in and he's taken her over. But why? Nothing is happenstance. This didn't just happen just because, he was just bigger and stronger. No, it happened because of the energy she put out on him. She mistreated him. She had him as a slave. Again, I go back, the Anunnaki with the humans. Humans were slaves to the Anunnaki. The male was a slave to the female. The Albions were a slave to the melanated people. Go back and do your history because we don't want to repeat it. Why am I talking about this history? Because women, you have already been here before. You've already mistreated him. That's why you're in this place now. You are coming back into your powers as we speak. Now, I won't go into it tonight, but we will go into DNA and how you have a DNA that you're tapping into right now that he doesn't have access to. That Y chromosome, that's his ex, that was his ex contract that was ripped up. You still have another X, but you haven't tapped into it. And you won't tap into it until you really gain knowledge of self. Let me rephrase this, because some of y'all are tapping into it and you're tapping into it in a mindset that's going to have you back in the same place again. You're tapping into it with an angry mindset. So I need to go into this so we can understand who he is and how we're placing expectations on him that he should never have had in the first place. And so this goes back to the video that Jessica showed about how I spoke about, how man was never meant to protect. He was never meant to rear children. He was never meant to be a provider. And this is once again not a diss to the brother. I don't want y'all to be thinking this is a diss. I'm saying this because these are things that we didn't know. And we're going to be able to see when we pull back out of this backwards laws that we have been indoctrinated with in this society. All right, so I'm just going to go into it a little bit, and I just need for the main point to be understood. Pull back on your anger. We've been there before. If you put that anger out, it's going to come back to you, and you're going to find yourself in this same place. You are tapping into powers that are so great. If you're going into these powers with anger and negativity, you're going to repeat. All right, pay attention. Thank you all for liking and sharing and following. I really do appreciate it. Let's get into this thing. Now, who is the male? And why do we have these expectations? So one of the things about beings that are mistreated is that, and I don't even know if it's that they're mistreated. I'm going to say it like this. Genetically modified beings have a character trait. Genetically modified beings have a character trait, all right? And again, I'm going to say this about what the Y chromosome is. And this is not a disrespect. This is a scientific fact. And I want y'all to go and look it up. All right. The Y chromosome. All right. And my brothers, I love y'all. I just need this to be made clear. Is a genetically modified, unnatural, recessive, parasitic trait. Okay. This is what science even tells you. This is not Diva Lyri making this up or trying to be disrespectful, but I need y'all to understand why that is important. I'm not talking about who he is as a spiritual entity, but I'm talking to you about who he is in this vessel. It is not even him, it's the vessel. It has a nature, and that nature is being disrespected. That nature is what's going to override his spiritual essence if he is not close with his spirit. So what is the nature of this vessel? You got to respect the nature. That's the problem. We want to, oh, well, he's supposed to be a good man and all, and we're thinking this society is telling us about what a good man is when really it's not. It's got stuff twisted and backwards. And so we're doing things and leaving, we're expecting these beings to do things that they were never created to do. And so I'm going into protecting and rearing and providing. So let's go into this. All right. Who is the male? And I talked about how he took over the woman. He has a nature as a genetically or GMO being, that trait, that Y chromosome, is going to take over that which created it. That's what a GMO will do. Now, in understanding that and what has happened with the male, because a lot of people say, well, we ain't no, what you talking about, Diva? We ain't no animal. We don't do like what they do. Okay, well, pay attention now. I want to go into nature. And let's deal with what the male beings in nature do. What is the nature of the beings that are not inhibited by these human laws? All right. So when we look at the lion, because this, I want to say the lion because this is the one every male, oh, I'm the king of the jungle. All right, the lion. And let's understand what his nature is. Who is the one that goes out and gets the food, provides for who does the hunting? Who for the pride? Who is the one that does all of the hunting? Cardi, welcome. Who does all the hunting? That's the female. The lioness does the hunting. And who does the rearing of the child? Who does that? That she doesn't leave that child just in his care. She's got a pride, a village. And if the lioness comes upon a group of giraffe, who is the only one going to lay their life on the line for the baby giraffe? Who the only one going to do it? That's the mother. Where is the father? He is at the front of the line trying to get the hell out of Dodge. I'm saying to you, when we look in nature, it becomes clear that he is not the one who does the protecting and the providing. That's the females who's always doing that. And this, again, this is not a diss. This is not to say that some men won't go out there and provide. It's not saying that. What I am saying to you is, are we respecting the natures of the beings that we're contracting with? That's what I'm saying to you. Are we respecting their nature? All right. I want to go into Bible because I've asked this of many of my biblical scholars. And I'm just, because the reason why we're going into this, because I'm trying to find out where we can see in history, nature, or any other place where the male actually does the providing or the rearing or the protecting. I've asked several of my biblical scholars, and I've checked myself, please tell me a biblical story where a man put his life on the line for his woman and his child. Anybody? Because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that story. And so what I'm saying to you is, we don't have anything in biblical history, which is one of the older histories, where you're seeing a man doing what today's society expects him to do. So we don't see it in nature. We're not seeing it in biblical history. Let's go into past history, because a lot of people come at me with, the Moors were protecting and the blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, if the original people in the land were melanated and they were the so-called Indians, then where were the men when these people came in and took over everything? See, I need y'all to understand something. When we start talking about Moors, they were the ones sleeping with Becky. They were the ones with the Moorish bathhouses. Where were the men? I'm saying to you, this is some past history, not too much in the past, where the men had a chance to step up. Where they at? Where they at today? Again, I'm saying to you, I'm trying to find out where it is in history, anywhere in nature, where a man has been, they've been doing this. I can't find it. But when I look into nature and I recognize, wait a minute, this is how these beings act. And then I look in this society today, all I'm seeing is that we have expectations on males that we shouldn't have. And this, again, is not a diss. You're looking at him as whatever in your mind has been constructed in your mind in this society about, oh, well, he's supposed to be this, he's supposed to be your knight in shining armor, and he's supposed to help you and be your helpmate and all this other stuff, when that's not what nature is saying. That's not what his nature is saying. That's not how it was originally on this planet. On this planet, there was a matriarchy. There was a village. And the fact that we are not respecting his nature, we're expecting him to do things, and then when he does something other than your expectations, you're upset with him, you're angry with him. When the truth is, you shouldn't have been expecting him to do that in the first place, because it's not in his nature. Now, am I saying you shouldn't have a relationship? No, I'm not. This is what I am saying, though. If you don't know the nature of the being that you're doing business with, then the problem is you, not them. The problem is you. You're trying to contract with somebody, and put them in a contract that goes against their nature. This is not, again, a diss on anybody. If you want to have a relationship, that's fine. But the better relationship is going to happen when you respect the nature of the being that you're doing business with. I got a story I want to tell, and I'm going to get up out of here. This is a story about a frog and a scorpion. The frog and the scorpion. And the frog and the frog and the scorpion were on the side of a pond. And the scorpion was looking across to the other side, wishing he can get to the other side. And so the frog comes hopping by, and the scorpion is like, hey, frog, listen, I gotta go across this pond. Can you give me a ride? And the frog's like, no, I'm not giving you no ride on my back so you can sting me. That's what you're gonna do. You're gonna sting me. The frog, the scorpion's like, no, frog, I'm not gonna sting you. Listen, I just need to get to the other side of the pond. Please help me out. I promise you, I will not sting you. No. You're not. I'm not doing that. I'm not letting you on my back so you can sting me. Why would I sting you, frog? Come on. If I sting you, then we both die. I just need to get on your back. You're gonna paddle across, and then when you get to the other side, then we're done. I promise you, I'm not gonna sting you. I promise you. And the frog's like, nah, that's not a good idea. I don't know about that. So the scorpion is very convincing. You know, he's talking to the frog. Come on, frog. Please help me. I promise you. Please help me. Please help me. I'm not going to sting you. I promise. If I sting you, we both going to die. I don't want to die, frog. Come on, let's do this. So he talks the frog into letting him on his back so they can cross to the other side of the pond. So the frog says to him, look here, scorpion. Now, if you sting me, you know we both going to die. Scorpion's like, no, I wouldn't do that. Trust me, please. So the frog lets the scorpion on his back, and the frog begins to paddle across the pond with the scorpion on his back. Halfway across the pond, the frog feels this sharp sting in his back. And the frog yells out in pain as he looks back. Oh, you stung me. Why would you do that? Now we both gonna die. And the scorpion says, sorry, it's just in my nature. And they both died. The scorpion says to the frog, sorry, it's just in my nature. And they both died. Now, the moral of the story is, once again, respect the nature of the being that you're doing business with. Now, this is not to say you can't do business if you're a frog with the scorpion, but you got to protect yourself. Now, if it's me, I'm tying up his stinger. I'm tying up his claws. I'm even tying up his mouth. Don't talk. We're going to get across to this other side, and then you go your way, I go my way. But you've got to respect the nature. And as far as I'm concerned, it's the frog's fault. The frog is the one that had all the power. The frog had all the power. The scorpion had no power. He can't pedal. He can't swim. He can't do nothing. He can't do nothing without the frog. So it's the frog's responsibility to protect herself. And so if you get stung by the scorpion, it's your fault because you did not respect the nature of the being you were doing business with. And this is what I mean when I'm talking about women and men. Yeah, we've been told all this stuff in society, this mama bear, papa bear, baby bear, that's all BS. Because in nature, a mama bear would never lie up in no house or no crib or no enclosure with no male bear because she knows his nature. She knows he's likely to wake up and eat that child as a snack. She's not going to allow that because she respects his nature. This is not to say that all male beings are terrible beings. Nobody's saying that, but there is a nature that is associated with the vessel. And if you don't respect it, the problem is you. He's going to be who he is. Respect the nature. So I'm coming about this session because I want to make it clear. When you're coming with this anger about who he is and he ain't this and he's weak and he's this, you got to come off of that because of the simple fact that, again, we've been here, we've done this. You created him. If you're talking about your baby daddy ain't this, you created him. You manifested him. You brought him into your dimension. If he ain't all that, look at self. Look in the mirror. If you don't recognize that he is your reflection, then you're operating from a standpoint of victimhood. You can't win in that standpoint. You're going to repeat. You're coming into a lot of power. With the power that you're coming into, there must be responsibility. And if you're coming into this power and you're angry with him, or anybody for that matter, and you're all about is just victimhood and how he ain't this and he didn't do this, you're going to repeat because you're going to spread all that negative energy in a place where it doesn't need to be. The problem is not him. I'm saying it. It's you. You manifested it. Now, if you want something different, change you. As soon as you change you, he's got to change. And if you're in a situation with someone who you feel is not worthy, again, you got to change you because he is only your reflection. That's very important. How do we take our power back after a breakup? Thank you for that question. I can't tell the name, but okay. After a breakup, the first thing is to recognize who he was, your reflection. That's the first thing. A lot of people do not want to look at that. They want to look, no, that ain't me. He was just this. He was a narcissist. He was a this and he was a that. He was a you. He was your reflection. The first thing is to recognize that. The second thing is to be willing to apologize to whomever you gave that energy to. See, this is what we don't want to recognize. Who you give that energy to that he gave to you? He was only reflecting you. Go apologize. Find them. If you can't find them, you find a way. Go to the water somewhere and you get that off of you because that's an energy. You got to. So this is why we have the vessel cleansing session this season, because you've got to learn, from everything from what you eat to what you say to how you speak to the universe. You've got to get energies up off of you. So the second thing is, after you reflect and recognize that he was your reflection, then you got to find a way to apologize. You got to forgive him, and you have to ask to be forgiven. That sound crazy to you? A lot of us don't y'all understand why they keep talking about, oh, you just need to apologize and then we can move on with it. That's a law. That's a law. That's a principle. You got to learn how to cleanse the energies, and it starts with recognizing who you are, what energies you put out, that you're not a victim, and be willing to apologize for the energies that you put out. Thank you for that question. How do we take our power back? You forgive. You forgive. You forgive yourself. Proverbs 31 is true order. Thank you, Jay Yashira. Cordy says that goes both ways. What goes both ways? Uh, Cordy. All right, so before I get out of here, I want to say to my sisters, all right, two things. Respect the nature of the being that you're doing business with. You've got to come up off of these lies that we've been taught in society about what a male is and what he's supposed to do. And I've talked about this in previous sessions about how people will, because you're expecting a man to do certain things, you're not respecting his nature, and you end up putting him in a position that hurts other people. And I talked about this. I'm not going into it today, but you put him in a position where he could hurt somebody, and it's your responsibility to take care of those people. Yeah, it does go both ways, Cordy. And I'm just saying, though, I'm speaking to my sisters because, as we know, everything comes from the feminine. He comes from the feminine. And even when we're talking about your baby daddy or whatever, I need y'all to understand something. He doesn't show up unless you say yes. He can't exist unless you say yes. Period. He doesn't show up because, so again, if you are in a situation with a male, he can't do nothing unless you give him permission. So if you say no, there ain't no baby daddy. There ain't no baby. And if you're not being conscious and cognizant of what you're doing and who you're doing business with, then you're going to end up getting with somebody who's not worthy of being in your Stargate. And the problem is not him, it's you. Because you are the one who are responsible. You, not him. So yeah, it goes both ways for men and women, but the woman is ultimately responsible. So and once she starts accepting her responsibility and being accountable, not standing in a victim mode, and recognizing that he is her reflection because he's only giving her the energies that she's put out, then all this mess will get cleaned up. All this mess will get cleaned up. It starts with her. Anybody have any comments, disagreements, questions? Because I'm ready to get out of here. I want to say thank y'all. Don't forget, we have class starting up on the 16th of July, all right? Make sure you send us a message so that we can get you a free consultation and get you enrolled. Also, the membership packages. Don't forget about these. All right, they come with your Allodial ID. They come with your membership badge and your trust. All right. So I want y'all to, sisters, please, please let go of the anger, because anything you're saying he did to you, he was only reflecting you. He is just a reflection. And remember that if you're putting out negative energy, then it's got to come back. See, I see women who want to get back at their, oh, I want to get back at him. I'm going to do this. And you got to understand, when you put those energies out by law, they have to come back to you. This is why it's important. Y'all hear that prayer, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Why is that prayer is a part of a universal law or universal principles. This is why you got Catholics, they going into the little booth and talking about, bless me, Father, for I have sinned, and he's supposed to absolve all of their sins away. Okay, that's part of a universal principle. And that deals with, first of all, being willing to apologize, and then being willing to forgive. That's how you start cleansing some of this baggage. Let me go back. Man had a question. Let me make sure I get it. Thank you, man, for pointing it out. Let's see here. Man says, I didn't get your question, man. Post the question again, man, because I don't see it. All right, I'm trying to see this question. Man says he put a question up here, but I don't see it. Put it up again for me, man, because I don't see it. All right, so I don't see that question, man. But I saw a comment from somebody says they don't do respect. All right, so um, let me see who said that. He said they don't do respect. T Peasy. All right, listen up, T Peasy. If the people in your dimension, whoever they are, male or female, if they don't do respect, they don't do respect because you don't do respect. Understand that. If people in your dimension are not showing you respect or quote unquote doing respect, it's because you don't do respect. But the minute you start doing respect, whoever they are in your dimension, they're going to start giving you the same respect. That's how that works. So I need you to understand that when we're talking about, oh, men don't listen and women don't listen, people don't listen. Men have not been listening to women, and women have not been listening to men. Men have been saying who they are from the beginning. They like the new. But women keep trying to trap them into some kind of relationship to do things that go against their nature. And they're not respecting the fact that he has a job to do. His vessel. See, I told y'all, we got the spiritual side, and then there's this vessel. This vessel has a lot of pull. So whatever the nature is of the vessel, you better respect it. Because we're not talking about the spiritual side of him. The spiritual side of him might be like, yeah, baby, I want to stay with you for the rest of my life. But the nature side of him is saying, I want to hit it and quit it. The nature side of him saying, I want to hit it and quit it. Y'all women be thinking he coming up, well, he might be a good husband material. He don't give a damn about no husband material. His vessel is saying, I need to hit it and quit it. But you, in your mind, as a woman, you got him, you thinking about, oh, we can have children, we can, all this other stuff in your mind, these contracts you making up over here. In his mind, it's all about hitting and quitting it, because that's what his vessel said to do. His vessel says, you got to get in that Stargate, and you got to say whatever you need to say to get into that Stargate. And the problem is that women are not respecting what his nature says. His nature has a goal. That goal is to get into the Stargate and to say whatever he needs to say to get into the Stargate. Now you want to call him a dog because he's doing what his nature says. Now the guy who's being honest with you, girl, I don't want no relationship. I just want some friends with benefits. He's a dog to you. He's being honest with you. He's the one who's saying to you, well, my nature say, look, I don't want a relationship. I just want to hit and quit it. He's a dog to you. But the one over here, what they call him an F boy. The one over here saying all these nice things to you, and girl, yeah, I'll be with you forever because you beautiful and yeah. That's he's saying what you want to hear. But his nature is telling him hit it and quit it. And so what he shows you is a representative. That's what they call a representative. He's showing you his representative. And you fall in love with his representative, not with the true nature of the being that you're trying to do business with. The problem is not him, it's you. He's been telling you who he is. but you haven't been listening. You've been hearing society tell you about Goldilocks and the Three Bears and the this woman running, the woman being saved by this prince in shining armor. You've been listening to the BS. You haven't been paying attention to the true nature of these beings that you're doing business with, and the problem is you. Why have some men chosen marriage? Thank you for that question. All right. So let's understand you again. Just because they choose marriage doesn't mean that they're not looking elsewhere. Some men have sense enough to know that their longevity depends on having a woman around. Some men have sense enough to know that their longevity and their health depends on having a woman around. So let me go through this statistic, and I want y'all to look it up for yourself. Statistically speaking, all right, when you're talking about a married man versus an unmarried man, the married man is healthier than the unmarried man. We're talking about an unmarried man, he's more likely to commit suicide. He's more likely to have very bad health issues. He's more likely to die sooner than the guy who's married. The unmarried man, he's unbalanced. He's unhappy. He doesn't make as much money as your married man. Y'all look this up. I'm not making it up. Conversely, when you're talking about married women versus unmarried women tend to be more financially successful. They tend to be more stable. They tend to be happier than your married woman, who tends to be more run down because she's putting her energies into him. I'm not trying to diss. If you don't want to be married, I'm not telling you not to be married. I'm telling you what's going on statistically. Go look it up for yourself. With all that being said, why do some men choose marriage? Now, we know from the beginning, most males, and it's not to say that all men are like this, but most males, from the beginning, they're going to play. Meaning, you might be in a relationship with them, but that doesn't mean they're going to be monogamous. How many relationships end up because of cheating, quote unquote cheating, where this man is in a relationship where he shouldn't have been in the first place? Because it's not even in his nature to do that. But he does it because spiritually he might be thinking, I can do this. Spiritually, he might be thinking, I can do this. But physically, the vessel has a pull. And his vessel is saying, hit it and quit it. So if he's strong on a spiritual level, then he can hold that relationship. But let's not be disrespectful of the nature of the vessel and be disrespectful of the fact that he has manifested in this vessel and it has a pull. If you're not respecting the nature of the vessel, again, the problem is you. That doesn't mean he's weak. Just means his vessel has the pull. Any other questions? And you know, again, the society is telling him, oh, he needs to be, you need to be in a marriage, but that's not where we come from. In the matriarchy, we wouldn't have married him. That's not, and again, I'm not dissing that. If you want to be married, great. I'm just telling you that society has it all backwards. It's got it backwards. There was a village. Not that she was dependent on him to help rear and take care of the child and raise it. There's a mama, grandmama, great grandmama, aunties, cousins, nieces, and also your girlfriends. That was the village. That wasn't what he did. And again, y'all got to understand, in nature, the female does not leave that baby in the hands of a male. Y'all understand? I'm going back to this. Y'all, some of y'all have had dogs, and the female has babies, and they got to separate. You got to separate the male dogs from the female and the babies, because he'll keep hell up. That's a part of the vessel, the nature of the male being. It's not just with dogs, it's with all kind of other beings. The female knows better. She respects his nature. And I'm saying to you, now we in a situation where you expecting him to do things that are just outside of him. This not a diss. This is not to say that some brothers can't do it. I'm saying to you, once again, just like with the frog and the scorpion. The scorpion ends up stinging the frog just because, well, it's in my nature. The frog didn't respect the nature. The frog knew, oh, you like to sting folk. You like to, y'all ain't paying attention. They've been telling us who they are. Respect it. Then learn how to do a different contract. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, it's not about that you can't do business with them. When you understand who they are, make a new contract, make up a different contract. And then here's the other thing women try to do. You want to try to control him when you got to control you. When you control you, you automatically controlling him. If you're not in control of self, there's no way you're going to be able to control him. You can't control him anyway. When you just control you, he will do what needs to be done in your life. Control you. And then he's going to do what needs to be done. And that's the problem. Again, we're not respecting who we're contracting with. We're not in control of ourselves. And then we want to try to control something outside of us. That's not how it works. That's not part of the law. Cordy, no. Cordy asked if I'm married. No. No. And I never wanted to be. I saw what was going on. So I was like, yeah, I'm just, I'm going over here and chill out. But thank you for asking. So again, I say to you, when you are in control of self, then those men that come into your life, they're going to treat you with respect. And so I have men in my life. All of them are beautiful. They treat me with love and honor and respect. And so when I say that, I'm talking about friends, I'm talking about business acquaintances, I'm talking about strangers, I'm talking about the men that I come in contact with are just beautiful people. And they treat me with respect because all I have is love and respect for them. So that's what I'm saying. Again, when you start controlling self, everybody outside of you will come into order. Okay, I want y'all to know I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. My sisters, I love you. Please, we got to learn how to come off of the anger. We're coming into a very, very powerful time now. You don't want to be a victim with all this power. You don't, because you will destroy yourself. You do not want to be a victim with all of this power, because you will destroy yourself. When you're in a victim mind state, you're going to hurt other people. Don't do it. We're coming into a lot of power. And my sister, we're going to talk more about this, what that power is, how to tap into it. All right. Hello, Sasha and Trillionaire. Thank you for your love. Thank you guys for your support. Please make sure you go visit us on UNA University. Find the links in the bio. My people on TikTok, my people in YouTube, I love you. I love you. I want you to find the link in the bio. Go to unauniversity.com. Let's become a member. I want to see y'all in class. I want to see everybody in class. We're going to have a test on this stuff. All right. We got a great season coming up this summer. And We got a whole bunch of products. I want y'all to be aware of what we're doing. I love you. Give me a hug. Come on, give me a hug. Give me a hug. I love you. Bye bye. Bye bye. I love you. I'm out of here, Diva Lyri. I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm going live all this week. See y'all soon. I'm out. Peace. Diva. Yes, 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 yes. Q&A. Yeah. How you turn this thing on? There we go.
Way more than Charlie D'Amelio, Dixie D'Amelio, even with their paid sponsorships. He only created his account 3 days ago, and he's already made over $180,000 from these glass bottles down the stairs. That's $60K per day. How do I know how much money he made? Let me show you. To compete with YouTube, TikTok actually released their own funding program for creators that won't actually make money on their platform. Before, they used to pay their creators 2 cents per thousand views. And with the new program, they're paying $1 per thousand views on just 20 days, making over $610,000. So if you guys got some stairs and some glass bottles and maybe some more bees, save this for later. Exposing the smartest people on TikTok. Ratchet Paul. I can say with confidence this guy's making way more than Charlie D'Amelio, Dixie D'Amelio, even with their paid sponsorships. He only created his account 3 days ago, and he's already made over $180,000 just throwing these glass bottles down the stairs. That's $60K per day. How do I know how much money he made? Let me show you. To compete with YouTube, TikTok actually released their own funding program for creators that will actually make money on their platform. Before, they used to pay their creators 2 cents per thousand views. And with the new program on videos that are over 1 minute, they're paying $1 per thousand views. RPM stands for per thousand views. And each one of Ratchetbot's videos are conveniently 1 minute long. So with a total of 180 million views, Ratchetbot has made a collective of $80,000. This is not just Ratchetbot doing this. Mr. Fod has been doing this exact same thing with 1 minute long videos, and he's actually gotten a total of 610 million views in just 20 days, making over $610,000. So if you guys got some stairs and some glass bottles and maybe some more bees, save this for later. Exposing the smartest people on TikTok. Ratchet Paul. I can say with confidence. This guy's making way more than Charlie D'Amelio, Dixie D'Amelio, even with their paid sponsorships. He only created his account 3 days ago, and he's already made over $180,000 just throwing these glass bottles down the stairs. That's $60K per day. How do I know how much money he made? Let me show you. To compete with YouTube, TikTok actually released their own. So I saw one video of a guy saw.
okay? You okay to talk? Okay. Oh, I was going live when you called, so I couldn't take the call. Did you get the message I sent you on Facebook? See, you don't be checking your messages. What's going on? Right. Okay, well, if I'm live, I'm gonna send you a Facebook message because it's faster for me to do that. I won't be able to, I can't send a message while I'm on the thing, uh, talking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just letting you know. Hold on.